At this level, TQ will be equal to TP. Here, you are conscious. You take decisions logically. But you don't have any extra enthusiasm or energy. You are just there with a conscious mind. That's all. You are not creative, not innovative. You don't take big steps. You don't grow. You are like a faithful servant. Einstein says, the intellect is a faithful servant. You can be a servant throughout your life. You can be just a servant, but nothing more or big can be done through you. At this level, you will just be collecting the data, processing it and delivering it. You will be nothing more than a computer. When your unconscious zone is at the intellectual level, TQ will be almost equal to TP. Here you don't take hasty decisions out of restlessness and overloading of your conscious zone. Instead, you take decisions in a logical and conscious way. When you are at the intellect level, you are not tired, but you are not energetic either. You are in a break-even state. At this level, you are still not using your potential to the maximum, the extent to which it can be used. The next level, where you can actualize your entire potential, is the intuition level. If you can infuse a deep silence and awareness into the unconscious zone and replace your engraved memories or files with silence and awareness, you can be at the intuition level. When you can be free from your memories and be empty and blissful in this unconscious zone, if you can be alive and fresh every moment without the burden of your past, without the burden of these engrams, the energy of your being will express itself in its purest form. When this happens, we can say that your intelligence is at its peak, because energy is intelligence. When this happens, you take decisions out of an energy called intuition, where you simply know with tremendous clarity. When you are at the intuitive level, TQ will be greater than TP, and you will take decisions from the energy of your intuition, from deep awareness and peace, from bliss. This concept needs a deep understanding. You need to go deep into the whole science. Only then will you be able to understand what I mean by the word intuition. Intuition is something which happens in you beyond your intellect. Now, what is intuition? Let me explain. Suddenly, you know for sure that something is the right thing, and you feel that you have enough energy also to do it, but you don't know the steps involved in doing it. You don't know the steps that led you to the conclusion, but you know for sure that your conclusion or decision is right. This is intuition. This energy of intuition is needed whenever you are faced with a situation where there is no precedence. When you are stuck with minimum data and you need to take decisions, or you have many choices and you are not able to decide what you are supposed to do, in such situations, the energy of intuition helps you. Not only in such situations, if you can be in this plane of being continuously, you will be totally present every moment, and you will give birth to future moments also in the same fashion. If you try to assimilate what I am telling you now, if you can just spend a few minutes sitting with yourself and feel how your stored engrams are causing havoc in you and burdening you, if you can just see the truth in what I am saying, you will slowly know the knack of how to get out of the cycle and move to the higher plane of your being. And one more thing with intuition. It gives you the energy not only to take the decision, but also to execute what you have decided. When I say this to people, they ask me, Swamiji, how do I find out whether I am having an intuition or I am just being intellectual? They tell me, Swamiji, I am confused about whether it is intellect or intuition. I tell them, be very clear. If you are confused, it is only intellect. The very confusion shows that it is only intellect. When you have intuition, you will be so confident and brimming with energy that there will be no room for confusion. With intuition, the potential power which is inside your being is simply unleashed. You open up, and just like that, you start expressing it and executing it. If you read about scientists and CEOs who have been involved in major breakthroughs in their fields, again and again you will find them attributing their success to something beyond their intellect, which gave them the energy or the guts to take those decisions. Know one more thing. Each and every one of you here has the power of intuition in you. Let me ask you, how many of you have experienced at least once in your lives that when you are thinking of a particular person, the phone rings and that person is on the line? Or you enter a place and you feel you have been to the place before, or any other similar intuitive things. You see, these are the moments of intuition that you have experienced accidentally in your lives. During these moments, you are accidentally in a meditative state. Through these things, your being tries to relate with you. But what do? You brush these things aside as coincidence and ignore your being. We completely ignore the higher dimensions of our being. How can something that has happened to 80% of you be a coincidence? Be very clear. These moments of intuition are clear signs of the latent power inside you. If you recognize and encourage it, you can express the higher dimensions of your being. The other day, I had an opportunity to have a meal with Dr. Charles Townes, Nobel laureate in the field of laser and maser. I asked him, how did it happen? How were you able to do this? He answered in a beautiful way. He said, I was just sitting in a park in Washington, D.C., and suddenly something happened in me. The conclusion was there in me. Suddenly, the conclusion was revealed to me. I immediately penned down what I got. I then realized that I had a difficulty. I had the conclusion, but not the steps. I was not able to present it to anybody else because I knew only the conclusion. I did not know the steps. Then when I sat down, I was able to get the logical steps. Not only with Charles Townes, even Einstein says, whatever new happened to me, it came through intuition, not through intellect. He says beautifully, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Whether we believe it or not, accept it or not, there is something called intuition in us. Of course, even Einstein calls this as a gift because he doesn't know whether it can be consistently had. He is not sure when it will happen and whether it will happen or not. But yogis, the great mystics, again and again say that you can work very well for it and you can be sure about having it all the time.